bienvenue, bonjour. I was going to say arrivederci, but that's goodbye in a completely different language.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, welcome to the sofa, peeps. Welcome to another rip roaring, coke snorting,
No.
trying to pick up words that sound cool but coming out like a whole kind of drug-induced nonsense of Stace and Barry in the morning. I am one of your hosts. I'm not Stace. I'm the other one that would make me Barry, aka Nuge, aka Nuge Meister.
Okay.
I'm trying it out. I'm just trying it out. I'm trying it out. I don't think it works.
I have a feeling that we had on the Stace half of the title, by the way. I had a feeling that we had a conversation the other day about nicknames, and I sort of gave myself one, and you were like, "Yeah, let's run with it," and I've already forgotten what it was.
That
did happen, didn't it?
It did happen, and I know that I was going to start calling you Stace Bobbins.
Ah, yes. And I didn't come up with that one, so that makes it more legitimate.
Yeah. So technically, if I extended it and called you Stacey Bobbins, then that makes you sound much more like a Disney character.
It's so close to Mary Poppins, but just completely wonky.
All right, Stacey Bobbins.
Do you want to look after my children? Fuck off. Children, get out. What are you doing? God.
This is like the darker reboot of Mary Poppins, Stacey Bobbins.
Stacey Bobbins, she doesn't take shit from anyone, especially children.
Chimney, a wanker.
Oh, shut it, you chimney tart. That's what I say. Anyway. Hello.
Anyway.
Welcome. Ohio, that's Japanese for good morning, that is. Little fact for you. It's one of the very few Japanese words I actually remember from 6 years of Japanese study. Whoops.
I know my geri is front kick, Mawasha geri is roundhouse kick, and Sotogeri is side kick. So, that's my extensive Japanese knowledge as gained from my karate.
That is a lot better than me. I know how to sing a lot of Japanese songs, but I don't know what I'm saying.
That's not really, I know how to sing a lot of Japanese songs, but I don't know this.
Because I'm singing the right Japanese words, I just don't know what they mean in English. Yeah. Anyway, this isn't a Stacey's going to sing in Japanese randomly show. This is Stace and Barry in the morning. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I hope you've all got a yummy bacon sandwich or something that's not bacon if you don't eat bacon. Shut up, Stace. No. Should we do a segment? Should we just do a segment?
Let's just start. I'm going to have a sip of my peppermint mocha whilst we do a segment.
Okay. I should not do really long trumpets when we're on a bit of a time sensitive.
No, you do.
I thought I was going to stop.
You just take your time, love. It's fine. I'll just sip me mocha whilst you do your trumpet chorus.
Yeah, come back in half a fucking hour. Oh, jeez, Louise.
We didn't even say what segment it was, did we?
No, we didn't. Shall we do a pick of the fortnight?
Go on then.
Shall I go first?
Go on then.
Okie dokie. Well, I watched a film just last night. A film, yeah. Okay. Called Werewolves Within. Have you heard of this movie?
I've heard of it. I've no idea what it is. Well, okay. I mean, to be fair, I'm assuming there's werewolves in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. You are correct. It's
cool.
It's based on a video game called Werewolves Within, which is itself based on a card game called One Night Ultimate Werewolf, which itself is based on a card game called Mafia. But the long and short of the idea of the games in their various forms is that basically you all get assigned like a role, and one or two of your party, depending on how big your group is that's playing, is a werewolf, and you've got like one night to figure out which one of you is doing all the murders as a werewolf.
Yes, I've played this game.
Me too, and I am shit at it because I cannot bluff.
Dark.
Oh, mate. Because what got me about it as a game is that there is a character in the game that isn't a werewolf but wants to die. So if you're that character, you have to try and kind of convince people that you're the werewolf so that they shoot you. But you can't just out and out be like, yeah, I'm a werewolf, what of it? Because no one will believe you.
Wow, that's dark. Because I know there's lots of versions, and the only one that I've played is just the bog standard one of you's a werewolf.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I played One Night Ultimate Werewolf, which, is the one where there's, like, villagers and werewolves, and there's a mayor, and I think it's the drunk who's the one who wants to die. I can't remember.
Right.
Played it a long time ago. The long and short of it is, I can't lie to save my life, and I will always get caught. If I'm the werewolf, I'm like, me? Eat a person. I'm it. And everybody's like, it's her. It's definitely her. Do her a shoot. But yeah, so this film is based on like that sort of idea of like a group of people are in a place and it's a full moony time and one of them is doing a munch on everybody else and they're all trying to figure out who it is to do a murder on them. And it's really good fun. What surprised me about it was that I very rarely advocate for longer films. Right. I love a good 90-minute movie where I can just be like, slap it on. It's done, I'm gone. But this is a 96-minute movie, I think. Okay. And I actually think it could have done with being just a teeny bit longer, especially in sort of like the middle section where all the paranoia starts to creep in, where nobody knows who the werewolf is and they're all trying to figure it out. But, like, overall, I just thought it was a really enjoyable, like, 90-minute fun time romp. The main guy is a comedian called Sam Richardson, who I knew from the show The Detroiters and the I Think You Should Leave sketch show. But a lot of people will now know him as being alongside Chris Pratt in the Tomorrow War. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Yes. I know who you mean. Oh yeah, because he's in was he in Veep?
Yes, he was.
He was, wasn't he? Yes, I like him.
Very funny.
Yeah, I like. Oh, if he's in that, yeah, I'm all over that then.
Oh yeah, give it a watch. He's lovely. It's on one of the streaming services. I don't know which one though, because I'm a garbage human. It's one of those things where I haven't got a clue which services we've even got. I just basically watch whatever Rich puts on. He'll be like, "Do you want to watch this film?" And I'm like, "Sure." I've got no idea where it's come from. But yeah, so there's a lot of sort of like comedians in it. The guy who plays, oh God, do you watch What We Do in the Shadows?
No, I've only watched one episode.
Okay, do you know Guillermo in it? The sort of familiar.
I watched one episode and I didn't really take much notice of.
Fair enough. Well, those of you that did watch that and did enjoy it, Guillermo's in it too, and he's also very funny. And it was just like, you know, when you watch a film and you think, oh, that was good, that. And what I really like about Sam Richardson as well is that he's a really good sort of. I think I read an interview with him the other day where he was talking about like the good thing about being nice, because he's like, a lot of movies portray like niceness as being like weak or shit somehow. And so like his main character in this is just like a really nice guy who kind of wants the best for everyone and gets embroiled in, you know, grisly murders.
It's on adding to watch list. It's on Amazon Prime to rent.
Excellent. Yeah, so there you go. Werewolves.
Yeah. I really like. It's one of those. After watching him in Tomorrow War, my sort of takeaway is like, I really want to see him, kind of in a bit more of a central role, because I really like him.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, like, to not get into it too much, but one of my biggest problems with the Tomorrow War is I felt like Chris Pratt was the least interesting person you could have focused on in that movie.
Yeah, without sort of, I mean, I enjoyed it, but without kind of getting into it, for me, it should have, like you said, either have been the guy we've just been talking about, or
Betty Gilpin.
Yeah, or his dad.
Yeah, any of the above.
His dad.
Or Mike Mitchell, who was a terrible. I'm awful. Do your pick of the fortnight. I'm dreadful.
Anyway, my pick of the fortnight is a TV show. He says, doing that TV show from the old Give Us a Clue thing. So I finished watching at the crack of dawn this morning the second season of Pennyworth.
Ah, okay.
Now, for those who don't know, Pennyworth is a kind of, say, origin story, I suppose it is, of Alfred, who is the butler to Bruce Wayne, who is Batman. Now, when the show was first announced, I just thought this is really scraping the bottom of the barrel. You've got to do an origin story for Alfred. I mean, what's the next origin story for the Batmobile? Which starts out as like a little remote control car with like delusions of grandeur. I don't know. And I watched the first season and absolutely loved it because it was just bonkers. It just did its own thing. And I think what they did with season 2, which I blasted through in about less than a week, is they've just sat down and gone, well, that worked. Let's see what else we can do, and let's see if we can make it even more crazy and bonkers than we did before. And hell yeah, that worked. And I think some of it is maybe because they've been left alone.
Yeah.
Because it's not because it's not Gotham, or it's like not a Bruce Wayne show. I don't know, and it's on a weird sort of channel. I don't think the suits have kind of got involved in the same way, so they've kind of been able to sort of go their own way with it. I think that's where a lot of these shows and films go wrong sometimes, is the studio interference. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. I think it's got some of the best uses of swearing I've seen in a show.
I do love a creative swear.
It's not even the creative swears does that. It's just the amount of times people just go, oh, for fuck's sake. It's just.
I wish more people did that in things, to be honest, because it's 1,000% realistic. Like earlier, I was cooking and I accidentally spilled a bit of water on the hob, and I went, shit off, right at my oven, as if my oven can pay any attention to me and shit off. And I was like, nobody does this in films. You never see people just pottering around the kitchen and stub their toe and be like, oh, fuck nuts. They should do
well,
that.
I think that's the thing, I mean, I'm not saying that's not the only reason why I love it. There's lots of reasons why I love it. But I think the swearing in it, whenever I see swearing sometimes in films, whatever, it can kind of take me out a little bit because it just feels like they've just added it in there just to get that certificate or to show you this is adult. But because the swearing in this is so everyday and it's dropped into the conversation so well and it's very British, it just works. It's even bits where people just go, oh, the fuck. And it just, people dropping C-bombs left, right, and centre. It works really well, and it just reminds me of the old shows I used to watch as a kid, like The Avengers, as in Steed and Emma Peel and all that, and some other shows around that, and The Saint and stuff like that. It doesn't even feel like this is a show that's going to become Batman. It just feels like it's its own thing, which I really like about it. And it's just, if you haven't watched it, I think you should give it a go.
Maybe I will, because I've got to admit, I sort of gave that, I've heard of that, and I sort of gave it a bit of a wide berth because I didn't like Gotham, and I've really fallen out with like all of the CW shows now. I've just dropped them all. I can't be bothered. So I've sort of been on the fence for like DC related TV shows of late. But if it's got the Barry seal of approval, maybe I'll give it a whirl.
I think one of the things I like about it is so you can get the CW out of your head for a start. It doesn't. This isn't a CW show. It doesn't feel like a CW. Or any of those trappings with it.
Yeah.
Although some stuff happens in the second season, which is a bit more kind of closer to like DC type stuff. But if you didn't know that his name was Alfred Pennyworth, and he's going to obviously be, and it's got Thomas and Martha Wayne in it. If you didn't know those characters' names and you just watched it, you would just think it's just some kind of alternate Britain with like spies and stuff going on. It's a very different Britain is portrayed in the show. It's almost like an alternate version. So that's what I mean. It hasn't got that kind of. I think a lot of these origin shows always like really hammering home certain things. Because that's going to be whatever in the future. It doesn't really do that. It's just its own thing. I think you could have easily have called it like, I don't know, Bob instead of Pennyworth, and I'd still love it. Do you know what I mean? It's almost the fact that he's going to become like Bruce Wayne's butler is a side thing to me. I'm just loving the show as it is.
Nice.
So give it a go.
Excellent. So we've only got like 10 minutes left and like 2 segments to do. So how about musical musings?
Yeah, musical musings.
I chose one this week that's me being totally on the pulse of modern cinema and music. I watched The Running Man the other day. For like the 1000th time in my life. I fucking adore that movie. I can't express to people how much, if that movie comes on, I have to then watch it. I was really tired and I was just flicking channels to, like, I don't know, watch something for like 10 minutes before bed and then stayed up for another hour and a half just watching The Running Man because it's so good. So I chose a piece of music called Buzzsaw Attack from the Running Man soundtrack by Harold Faltermeyer. Yeah.
Who did Axel F, if memory serves.
Oh, okay. I don't think I'd ever heard of him before. But the whole soundtrack to that movie, I think that movie is sort of like enhanced an awful lot by its soundtrack, in the sense that it has a lot to do in terms of like setting the scene of this sort of dystopian future, but also like bringing in different themes for all of the oh my god, I literally watched it the other day and I can't remember the name of the name they give the people who they send in to kill Ben Richards. For fuck's sake, Stace. You literally watched it 2 days ago.
It's not Stalkers, is it?
Stalkers, it is. Yeah, it is. I don't know what's happened to my brain. It's summer, it's melted. As well as like doing like cheesy theme tunes for like adverts or stupid TV shows that you catch. One of my favourites is Climbing for Dollars. Absolutely love the idea that people have to climb a rope for dollars and just get mauled by dogs. Yeah. Well, I fucking love that film. It's so good. But Buzzsaw Attack, the reason I picked that one out of the entire soundtrack is just because it's very sort of like, he's obviously gone, what's this guy's weapon? Oh, it's a big saw. I tell you what then, how about loads of fucking electric guitars in your face? It's all just like, meow, squilly willy. It's so good. So yeah, that's what I picked this time.
I really like this an end track on, when it ends, just before the credits roll, there's a piece of music they play. I think it's when Arnie's kind of won the day, he's come back as one of the rebels and they kind of, take over. And then the sort of the love interest walks on and there's some music playing in the background. I really like that little bit of music. And I think there's someone singing over the back like, this is no game.
Yeah, no pain, no gain. Oh, it's so good. And absolutely perfect movie.
It doesn't get more 80s than that.
What I love about it as well is some of the like typical Arnie one-liners make no sense, but they're also perfect. Like, Sub-Zero, now Plane Zero. Everybody's like, what are you talking about, Arnold? I love it. Hey, Christmas tree. Great stuff. Everybody go watch The Running Man.
Yeah. Right. So, given you dropped the joke about being on the pulse of pop culture, my pick, I actually am on the cusp of pop culture, or pulse even, which is what I just said. My pick. So I watched a film on Friday via Disney Plus, which was Jungle Cruise.
Oh, okay.
Which stars The Rock and Emily.
I too have watched that.
Emily Watson. Blunt, yes, Blunt. That's what I was going for. I don't know where the hell I got Watson from. Anyway, there was no way I wasn't going to watch it when it dropped. I mean, anytime someone mentions to me The Mummy or Indiana Jones in anything, I'm going to check it out. I don't care if people have told me it's rubbish. I'm going to be there all in. And I've got to say, I really enjoyed it. It was just fun.
Yeah. It's not groundbreaking, but it's fun enough. So yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it was just a fun, adventurous romp. However, one of the things that I did notice I was going through it, I was thinking, I really like the music. And there's something familiar in the stylings of the music. But I thought, I'll wait till I get to the end. The music is done by James Newton Howard.
Ah, okay.
Who is a big fave of both of ours. Mm-hmm. And the track that I've picked is called Jungle Cruise Suite, which is actually about 8 minutes. Obviously, I'm not going to stick on all 8 minutes, but it gives you a kind of real flavour of the type of film that you're getting. And I really like the music, and I think it's a fun film.
Excellent. I had as a total aside, I watched 48 Hours for the first time the other day,
and I got
I got halfway through it and I was like, oh my god, it's a steel band. I feel like I'm watching Commando, and then I found out that it was indeed James Horner. What a proponent for the steel band in a movie score where it doesn't feel like it should belong, but it really does. Oh, wicked.
God damn it.
Quickest trumpet in the world. I've got a little bit of geek all about it. News if you want some, B.
Yes, because I think it's going to be one that I've got.
Is it now? Yes. So, did you know that live action Turtles are coming our way again?
Boom! That was the news that I had.
And I don't know how to feel about the bit of news that I got, because the only thing that seems to be known about it at the moment is that it's still going to be produced by Michael Bay, which I don't mind too much because a producing credit is not a directing credit and it doesn't necessarily really mean anything. The thing that I'm not sure about is that apparently it will be written by Colin Jost, who, for those that don't know, is a comedian that features quite heavily on SNL. Right. And I can't decide if I think he's funny or not. He tends to do Weekend Update, which is the sort of news-ish, in inverted commas, like news comedy section. But like a lot of that stuff, like obviously with SNL's really hit and miss anyway, and you never know who's written what, so I don't really know what Colin Jost is about, except the fact that he seems to not be able to get through Weekend Update without cracking up at himself. So yeah.
Good look.
Yeah, I don't know. And he was in if you saw the live action movie of Tom and Jerry that came out earlier this year, he was very briefly in that, and he's not a good actor. So I really hope he doesn't cast himself in it. So, somehow weasels his way into the cast because he is not a good actor. So yeah, basically, I don't know how I feel about that, but I am excited tentatively about the return of Turtles to the screen.
I'm intrigued because I still think, put my hand on my heart, I still think I don't know how many of those they've done, but it was the first sort of CG Turtles one. I still think that was wicked.
Yeah.
Closely followed by Batman meets the sort of Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that was great. That was.
Which on paper should be awful, but was just spectacular because they took it seriously.
Yeah. It's brilliant stuff that was.
So I'm interested to see which way they go with it.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of the very few people in the world, apparently, that quite liked the other two live-action ones anyway, because I know the first one got mixed reviews and then the second one was pretty universally panned. But I actually really didn't mind Out of the Shadows, aside from the fact that there's a distinct lack of actual fighting in it, which seems to be what happens with Turtles movies, is they'll have one good one, and then in the second one they're like, okay, we'll do that again, but without any other scraps. But yeah, so I'm quite intrigued. I just don't know how to feel about Colin Jost, but we'll see, I suppose.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Right then, that's us.
Excellent. Sorry, you caught me off guard because I thought you might have had a bit of news, so I had a little drink and then I was very unprofessional.
The only bit of news I did have isn't really new. Well, it is news, but anyway. Did you know that M. Night Shyamalan was in talks to write Indiana Jones 4?
I did not know that, no.
Yeah. Oh. Apparently, obviously it didn't happen. But and apparently Raiders of the Lost Ark is his favourite film.
Wow. I would never have guessed that based on his works.
No. And he had an idea, obviously he did have an idea for it, and it was going to be a little bit darker. And I would have loved to have seen what he would have come up with. Yeah. I don't know how well he would. I mean, he would have been writing it, so as opposed to directing. So, because obviously, I don't know how he would have necessarily handled. Because indie is a lot of action set pieces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I just would have been really interested to see his take in it. I actually thinking on it, I think he could have done a really good Indiana Jones script.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's really interesting.
Here we go.
Excellent. And On the day of the recording, which I'm sad to say isn't actually Saturday morning, it's National Boob Day. So I thought I'd just take this opportunity to tell everybody, if you've got boobs, just give them a little feel, see if they're all right. Check in on your boobs. Take care of your boobs, lads. There you go. When I say lads, I don't mean just men. I mean, colloquially, like everybody who has got bazongas, just give them a feel. Yeah. Make sure you're all right. And on that weird note...
Hey, I really don't know what to do with that bit of information, so I'm just going to say...
announcement?
Yes.
I don't know. Go and enjoy some boobs, because it's National Boob Day.
Well, I'm going to... yes. Yes. Happy Boob Day.
Happy boobs, everyone. If you'd like to get in touch with either Barry or myself, you can send us a tweet at Stacey's Parlour or at Geek Syndicate. You can send us an email at staceandbarry@gmail.com. Join the Geek Syndicate or Stacey's Parlour or both Facebook groups and come talk to us about geeky nonsense. And we love you, and happy Saturday or whatever day it is that you're listening to this. Bye!
Latest, peeps.